Kayaking in Florida is always a wild adventure. You never know exactly what you're going to see out there. If you've been following us for a while, you may recall a previous video where we paddled out to Three Sister Springs to visit the manatees. If you haven't seen that one yet, you can click in the upper corner right now to watch it. But in today's video, we are heading out to go kayaking on Silver Springs. If you have your own kayaks, paddleboards, or canoes, you can launch them here, but it will cost $4 per boat. Unfortunately for us, ours were in our garage on the other side of the continent, so we were going to have to rent. We ended up renting 2 single kayaks, and at the time of the recording of this video, they ran $40 each. This includes your life jacket and paddle as well, but we highly recommend bringing a dry bag with you if you come to do this. All of the guys at the ramp were super cool, and after cracking a couple of jokes, we were off on our adventure. Right out of the gate, we saw an 𝐈𝐍𝐷𝐄 just hanging out on a log. These birds are really funny because when they're trying to dry off, they look like they're flexing. You'll see one in just a little bit. This network of rivers has so many picturesque parts on it, and it feels like you're on your own personal jungle cruise. We started off our paddle by going straight under the bridge and heading towards where you will be boarding the glass bottom boats at Silver Springs. Speaking of the glass bottom boats, you're probably going to encounter them while you're out on the river, and they have the right of way, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for them. Since we only had 2 hours, we would definitely need to keep our eyes on the time. Even though the water is calm, you are paddling back against the current. Instead of going straight out and back, we will also be making a left and taking the Fort King paddle trail, which you will see in just a bit. If you're looking for a longer paddle and you don't want to paddle upstream, you can always do the all-day paddle, which at the time of the recording of this video was $60. On this one, you'll be taking a nice leisurely ride all the way down to Ray Wayside Park and then hopping on a shuttle that will bring you back. You will, however, have to schedule the shuttle in advance. And there's that 𝐈𝐍𝐷𝐄 doing that power flex I was telling you about. The clarity of the water here is amazing, and it makes it really fun to take underwater shots like these. We didn't get too far downriver before we encountered our first glass bottom boat, and as I said, they have the right of way. They stop at all the spring boils to give a lot of facts, and if you're close enough, you might be able to eavesdrop and learn some things. But since I'm talking over the tour guide, here's a fun fact for you. At Silver Springs, there are 30 springs with 61 vents and a flow of over 500 million gallons per day. The biggest of these vents is located right in front of the boardwalk, and it is known as the Mammoth or Main Spring. This one alone is responsible for around 45% of the daily output. Here we have our third 𝐈𝐍𝐷𝐄 sighting, and it's funny when you watch them swim because their entire bodies are underwater. Maybe they have a hard time floating because they're always flexing those muscles. The clarity of the water here makes it so easy to spot tons of fish and turtles, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled as you paddle along. Some of the inhabitants of this water go back quite a ways, and I'm sure that they have one heck of a story to tell. If you're a big fan of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, hold on to your seats because I have something special to show you. These fish are called 𝐊𝐅, and they first appeared on this planet over 240 million years ago. If you're wondering how we got this unique camera angle, we're going to show you behind the scenes, and I promise you that it is not as glamorous as it looks. Although it is nowhere near as old as the 𝐊𝐅, Silver Springs has plenty of history as well. This place has been a popular tourist attraction since all the way back in the 1820s. 50 years after it opened to the public, a man named Philip Morell fixed a piece of glass to the bottom of a rowboat, and the Silver Springs glass bottom boat tours have been amusing visitors ever since. We had made it about 2.2 miles downriver when we saw a bunch of boats and people looking at something. And this is where we spotted our one and only manatee of the paddle. During certain seasons, there is a good chance that you will see many more of them, but we were just happy to see one. If you happen to encounter a manatee on your paddle, be sure to give them plenty of space and never hover just over the top of them. They obviously need to come up for air every once in a while, and if they come up right underneath you, not only could you hurt them, but there's a good chance they'll flip over your kayak as well. The manatee wasn't our only surprise guest, because as we turned around to start on our way back, we saw this gator just hanging out in the bushes. Keep your eyes peeled on the way back if you want to make that left turn onto the Fort King paddle trail. We highly recommend it. Not only do you not have to worry about the glass bottom boat anymore, but it is a much tighter waterway and it's really scenic. The views here really were the exclamation point to this paddle, and it was the perfect way to wrap things up. In addition to the gorgeous scenery, we even have one more gator sighting. And it might all be in our heads, but it felt like the water was a little bit more still here and we were fighting the current less. Another recommendation that we have is to leave enough time after your paddle to head over and explore Silver Spring State Park. If you missed our video about that, you can click in the upper corner right now to check that one out. And we also have several other videos that we've put up lately exploring some of the most beautiful springs that Florida has to offer. And that is going to do it for this video. We really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, it really helps us out. And if you want to find out more information about kayaking at Silver Springs, you can head on over to our website, thatadventurelife.com.